Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to a new video and welcome back to the channel, Passion Bassin. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my top 3 favorite lures for fall time bass fishing. This is Passion Bassin. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so today's video is going to be split into 3 different sections. I'm going to split it into the early fall or kind of the late summer, early fall transition time frame, and what lure I would like to fit, what lure is my favorite for that time. And then the next section is going to be mid-fall or like deep fall, of when like everything's officially up shallow and just feeding for the winter time. And then the last section will be late fall, kind of getting into the early winter pattern of when everything's kind of moving from shallow. They just got done eating and feeding, and then they're going to start moving back down deep for the winter time. So let's go and get into the first lure and going into the early fall time frame. All right, so going ahead and getting into the first category of early fall. Before I say the lure though, I think it's also important that we understand what the bass are doing during this time frame, because I think in order to know what to throw, you need to know what they're doing. So usually during this time frame of the late summer getting into early fall transition, these bass are going from wherever they're at for the summertime, and they're beginning to make their way up shallow, whether they're already up shallow or they're still down deep. Wherever they're at, they're beginning to make their way up shallow to feed, as well as all their prey and all the bait fish to eat, like bait fish, shad, bluegill, really anything to eat. Everything's going to start to move their way up shallow to kind of feed and get ready for winter time. So with that being said, we obviously know that bait fish and bass or bluegill or whatever they're eating on is going to start to kind of stool up, to kind of be all together in one, and they're going to start migrating up shallow. So with that being said, you want a lure that's going to imitate a school of bait fish that bass are going to see and want to chase up shallow. So with that being said, my favorite lure of choice for the early fall, again, you don't have to use these exact lures every time you go out. It's just, this is my lure of choice. So my lure of choice for the early fall is going to go ahead and be the spinner bait. This right here is a chartreuse, kind of probably bluegill or baby bass imitation spinner bait with a, I think it's a green pumpkin swim bait trailer on it. And then I also have I think it looks like a shad imitation spinner bait right here with a pearl white soft plastic swim bait on it for the trailer. I like swim baits because I feel like they do a really good job at imitating a school of bait fish. And obviously, like I said, during this time is when bass are going to be chasing schools of bait fish up shallow, kind of trapping them up shallow, and they're going to be feeding on them during the fall time frame until it's winter time when they go back down deep. So this is a great lure to throw. Where would I throw it? I would say it's best to throw it probably right at the openings of coves and creeks, on points, flats with structure on them. Really throw it around any type of structure in general, rocks, really anything that's going to kind of be right at the very opening point of any cove or any creek, because that's where the bass are going to be moving towards. But next, let's go get into the mid-fall time frame. All right, so for the mid-fall time frame, during this time frame is when the bass are going to be, already up shallow. They're already up in these coves and in these creeks, feeding on bait fish or whatever they're eating on, getting ready for the winter time. So with that being said, my favorite lure of all to use during the fall time is really anything topwater. I've narrowed it down to 2 lures I'd like to use during this time for topwater, and that is any sort of frog, whether it be a popping frog like this one or a normal walking frog. And then the other one I chose right here is a topwater walking bait. Again, you don't have to use these 2. You can use any topwater. You can use a topwater plopper, buzzbait, doesn't matter. I think topwater is a great lure selection for the deep or mid-fall time frame when all those bass are most likely up shallow feeding on bait fish or whatever they're eating on, getting ready for the winter time. So this is going to be obviously a great time when those bass are up shallow in that shallow structure or shallow cover and the lily pads and that up along those banks and that overhanging trees on the banks. It'd be a great time to get that nice, good, fun topwater bite. So now let's move on to the last category of late fall getting into the early winter time frame. All right, so this last category of late fall getting into early winter time. So during this time is when the bass, they're done feeding, and they're done being up shallow, feeding on bait fish, getting ready for hibernation. So now they're going to start to make their way from these shallower creeks and coves, and they're going to start to kind of move down towards those deeper waters, those deeper creek channels, deeper points, deeper humps, really just those deeper areas of the lake, so that when winter comes, you know, they're down there and they're going to just be down there just chasing bait fish along the creek channel the entire winter time. So with that being said, you're going to obviously probably want to start using something, or you're going to want to start using lures that are meant for more deeper water. So with that being said, again, none of these lures you have to use. I'm just saying that off of experience, these are lures I would choose for these time frames. And for this late fall to early winter time frame, I would go with any sort of jig. Right here I have a poppin' jig, or a pitch. I guess it's more of like probably a pitch and a flipping jig. It looks like it's probably a baby bass imitation with a looks like a watermelon red flake creature trailer on it. That one's really good. That one's good to, you know, throw underneath docks or pitch underneath docks or any structure. So that one's really good at just pinpointing certain pieces of structure or certain spots. The next jig I chose, again, you can use any jig you want in my mind really, but the one I chose is a football jig. This one looks like it's probably a either could be a craw imitation or a bluegill imitation, with a same thing as the other one, a watermelon red flake creature trailer on it. Football jigs, you can use them like a pitch and a flipping jig. You can pitch into a certain spot or pinpoint spots with it, or you can just straight up whack it on out there and let it hit the bottom, pop it off the bottom a few times, let it sink back down, pop it a few times, let it sink back down. So that's what's great about these things, these lures with jigs, is you know, they're good for pinpointing certain areas, but they're also good for fishing deep water because they're meant to just kind of sit down there and you just kind of pop them a few times. So those are all the lures I would choose for this fall, the month of, or not the month of fall, the season of fall. Again, you don't have to specifically use any of these lures. It's just that these are the lures I would personally use. So I hope that helped you out a little bit. If you all enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe button for more content here in the coming years, weeks, months, I don't know. But I hope you all enjoyed the video today. If y'all did, awesome. And I will see you guys in the next video. God bless.